Hello and welcome to the Leap for Ladies Leap to Success podcast. I am Mary Gaul, the host and the now owner of Leap for Ladies community, and so excited to be able to interview Dawn Stebbing today with us as our guest. And just a little bit about the Leap for Success podcast. So it is the conduit by which we share women's stories of courage, bravery, success, and diversity. Each week, we interview women entrepreneurs and leaders that have taken the leap in their lives to inspire our global listeners to be more, have more, show up more, and live a life filled with joy and happiness through believing in you. So, with that being said, welcome, Dawn, to the Leap for Success podcast. And I would like to just get started by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
How little do you want it, Mary?
Yeah, I know. Tell us your life story in 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, 30 seconds or more.
You
Well,
have a
right
little more
now,
than 30 seconds, yeah.
good. Just in a short synopsis is right now I present myself as a sales and image expert, and I work with professional women and professional women entrepreneurs to help them empower them to build confidence, create credibility, and stand out in their marketplace. And I've been doing this work for it's going on 15 years this year. In April, it'll be 15 years.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. It's
Wonderful.
yeah.
And how did you kind of, you've been doing this for 15 years, but how did you kind of get to this as a career option, right? Kind of tell us
Okay,
your
that's a
early
longer
origin
story.
stories.
I love that because it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't something I dreamt that I would be doing ever. It was something that I think throughout my career in my early 20s, 30s on up, you change every 10 years. Every 10 years, something different will happen in your life. But I always listened to this little thing in the back of my head that there's more out there for you. There's always more out there for you. Or what should I be doing now? If something is gnawing at you saying, hey, there's more for you, or this isn't it, or I'm not sure if I'm passionate about what I'm doing anymore, then you aren't fulfilling your purpose yet. You need to keep looking and searching for your purpose. So as I've done this through my life, and I do this with some of my clients sometimes, it's a piece of paper. I take a 8.5 sheet of paper, I split it down the middle, and I go, okay, what are everything I've ever done since I started working in my life from the earliest ages on till up till today. And then all of that, and then take bits and pieces of that and put it into the second column and say, now, what did I love about each one of
Oh,
these? And then
cool.
you'll find the common denominator. Now, what that does is it sparks you to look at it in a way like, okay, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I love this. I love customers. Let's say I love being with people. I love customers. I've always loved customer service. I've always loved to make women feel good about themselves, which led me into being a former hairstylist. I'm
Hmm.
a hairstylist, which also led into almost opening up my own salon at one time, but didn't happen because I didn't have the passion for it. And
Yeah,
that word alone, if you don't have passion and it doesn't fulfill your heart, don't push it. Don't go
right.
for it because you're not going to be happy. And that led into, well, if I didn't have the passion, but in that process of research, I was looking for products to put in my salon and I came across a direct sales company, which had skincare, cosmetics, and nutrition, which was all natural. Got into that, ran with that, built my way to the top of that company. And then all of a sudden I'm going, something is still
Yeah.
not feeling right. And that's how I ended up in as building my business as an image consultant 15 years ago. And I'm still evolving. I'm still
Yeah.
evolving because I still have so much to teach women. It's not just about how you look on the outside, it's about how you feel on the inside and resonates with how you show up for other people.
Great. I love that. I love your worksheet and dividing the two columns, what everything I've done, and then the pieces that I loved of that. That is such a great tip
Yes.
for our listeners and for everyone, right? So whether you have a corporate job or a W-2 job and you've been there for a while, but just here's all the skills that I've developed, and then here's the skills that I love, the things that bring me joy. And especially as entrepreneurs, if we've been in our business for a while, sometimes we forget everything that we've learned or everything that we've done. So I love the idea of taking a sheet of paper and just saying, what are the skills that I've developed? Because as an entrepreneur, you're learning every single day. You're learning something new, right? And
Oh.
sometimes we forget to acknowledge all of those things that we've learned and then looking at really what does bring us joy and how are we going to pull that together and then again finding that thread that brings you joy through all of the things that you've done in your career is really powerful to help guide you if you're especially if you're making a decision to transition into something new, right?
Mhm.
Taking that time to just do that worksheet is a simple exercise. It's not necessarily simple, right? It's easy to do, not simple, right? Because it can take some time to go back through and realize and put some thought into it. If you haven't updated your resume, I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years now. I haven't updated my resume, and before that, I worked for 10 years at that job. So probably haven't updated my resume for 20 years. So an
Great.
official one, right? So it's good for us to take that stock of what we've learned and really identify what it is that brings us joy. So thank you for sharing that tool. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Um, so you kind of answered this next question, but did you always know what was your purpose and really what at what point did you give yourself permission to take that leap to success, right? So from going into where your corporate career or being a hairstylist and then moving into the products based business, right? And that was one leap, and then taking a leap and saying I'm done here, I've done what I can here. What drove you to take that leap into starting your own company?
Love this question. And it's a big question.
It
It's
is.
No, I didn't always know what my purpose was. I've been on the search. Like I would always ask, you know, put it out there, ask the universe, you put
Yeah,
me on this earth for a reason. What am I supposed to be doing? I didn't find what I was passionate about until I was in my 40s. And
good.
in why is because I was ready. A lot of
Yeah.
people aren't really ready. They might be in transition because they don't like where they're at right now, but they don't know where they're supposed to go. But asking questions like that, such as, why did you put me here? What is my purpose? I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. But I knew one thing, and I kept saying this to myself. I knew that I loved the beauty industry. I loved being a hairstylist. I love working with my clients. I love making them feel good. I love the way they walked out the door. I loved it when they came back and they said, "Hey, do that again."
Yeah.
But what was it about that that was really, really intriguing to me was it was connecting. It was connecting with my clients and building these relationships that stay with you forever. End up becoming your friends. They tell
Yeah.
you about themselves, their families, their kids, what they're doing in their work, all this. So I knew that was a big piece that I needed to keep in my life. And I knew there was a purpose for that. Why? Because it just made me feel good. And when you
Hmm.
know it makes you feel good, you stick with that. You don't get rid of what makes you feel good. You get rid of what doesn't make you feel good.
Yes.
So get rid
Hopefully.
of the
Yes.
ick. Get rid of the ick and stay with the good feeling. So
Yeah.
then, and when I knew that, it had to still be in the beauty industry. And that's when I was at a networking event, and all of a sudden I was sitting at this table. I must have said this 3 times this week already,
Oh,
but I was
really?
sitting at this table, and everybody, probably about 10 of us at one big round table. And every woman started with telling us who they were and what they did. And it was a coach came to me, and I said, and I sold products, so I wasn't really a coach. I told them what I did, worked for a company and sold skincare and cosmetics and nutrition. Coach, image consultant. And when that person said
Oh,
image consultant, it sunk so deep in the gut of my gut that said,
Yeah.
oh, there it is. Oh my God,
Wow.
I need to talk to you. And it hit me that hard where I'm going,
Yes.
okay, this is it. I've been on the search for this for almost 6 to 8 months, looking for what that next piece was.
Mm-hmm.
And when that hit me, I met with her. I had her come and, clean out my closet or whatever arrange my closet, talk to her a little bit about how she got started and everything. And I ran with it. And
Nice.
that's when my career started in image consulting.
I love it. I love it. So you kind of got that thunderbolt, like that's what I've been looking for. And then you took the leap, right? And said,
That's
okay, this is what it is. Now, how do I get started in this career? Right?
right.
Even though you had pieces of that you could pull in, but still it's starting something brand new for you.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a scary leap. I wanted to go back to something you said earlier, Dawn, about really finding your passion in your 40s. As a mother of two daughters in their mid 20s, right? There's so much pressure. And even as women in our mid 50s, there's so much pressure to say, what's your passion? And find this one thing and find this, your one purpose. And there's so much pressure around that sometimes. I think it can be sometimes disabling for people and they just want to check out and it's like, nope, not going to do it. I don't have a purpose. I don't have a passion or whatever. Right. So which can lead us down a bad path. But hearing people talk about it and say, I didn't have a clear passion until I was older gives younger people that space to keep exploring and keep trying new things, and that's how we discover what brings us joy. And going back to your list, right, what are
Mhm.
all the things that you've learned how to do and what things bring you joy, and that will help lead you to your passion. But it's not something that you turn 21 and here's your passion for the rest of your life and that's it. Right? So I love that you shared you found it really in your 40s.
And that's so true, Mary, because we don't know who we are when we're in our 20s. We really
Yeah.
don't. We're still young. We're still
Yeah.
trying to explore life in adulthood at the same time. You're growing out of childhood into adulthood. Now you have to grow up a little bit. You've gone to college, or if you didn't, you're working, you're trying to find your way in your work. And then 30s is another whole story. Some people
Yes.
have kids in their 30s, and now they've got to stay home with their kids for a little while and raise them until they are at a certain age where they go to school, you can go back to work again.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us I had my kids younger. I'm a young mom. So by the time I was 40, my kids were not in my house anymore.
Oh yeah, nice.
So that's when I said 40 because what am I going to do now? I'm not
Right.
kids at home that are constantly needing my help, my advice, whatever. I mean, I'm always there for them, but what am I going to do?
Right.
And I always think about, I love what you said about we do get, in our later years, we do find our passion in our later years is because we may already have our passion in our younger years. We just don't know what it is. We
Yeah.
don't, because we don't hear those words until we get older, till
Yeah.
we sit with ourselves and say, okay, now what am I going to do? What do I want to do? What would I love
Mhm.
to do? What am I passionate about? Like, do I love teaching? Or maybe you love paddle boarding or
Yes.
canoeing. It could be anything like that. Or hiking. Maybe you want to teach things like that or have retreats. You don't know until you really sit with it, until you really observe. And then when you talk about taking the leap, I never underestimate myself. I'm always one of those that just jumps in and goes for it if it feels good.
Good.
Feels right, I do it.
Yes.
It doesn't, if I'm at all second guessing the way I feel, then you don't do it because you're just going to feel icky all the time. And
Yeah.
you're going to, why did I spend that money on something I'm not passionate? And I've done that a lot.
Hmm.
I've hired coaches that, never got me to where I wanted to go. I just never felt good about it. Listen to
Hmm.
your intuition. Intuition is going to tell you. And that might sound a little woo-woo to some people, but for me, it isn't anymore because I've been working with this for a long time.
Right.
But you have an intuition. and your intuition is speaking to you. It's almost like you have the angel on one side, the devil on the other, and the angel says this, and the devil says no. You do it this way, do it this way. No, 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 do it this way, do it this way. No, no,
Yeah.
no. And then you end up doing what the devil says instead of what the angel says, and then you just feel horrible.
Right,
So
right.
always listen to your gut feeling. If it doesn't feel good, don't
Yeah.
do it.
I love that. I love that. And as a mom, again, that's something I really try to instill in my kids is pay attention to that intuition. We all have it. So even as you go up and talk to a stranger, right? Do you get the icky feeling? Do you get the good feeling? Pay attention to those feelings, right? So from a very little age, when you talk about stranger danger or those kind of things, right? But paying attention, we do have that inner guide, that inner wisdom. So how have you learned to develop that and learn to be able to hear that intuition, get those downloads over the years, and do you have some tips that you pay attention to?
Yeah, making mistakes.
Yes, I know.
We will always make mistakes, and those mistakes is what we learn from.
Yes.
I think having surrounding yourself with good people that will
Hmm.
always, if you want to run something by somebody and always listening to somebody that has your back, that's one. Or I believe your body speaks louder than your words sometimes.
Hmm.
And if your body is at all in a disruption, like your health or anything like that, that means you're doing something that doesn't feel right in your body. And I'm
Yeah.
going to go back to even when you put clothes on, if you look in the mirror and it doesn't feel right, it doesn't look right, and you go, oh, this is good enough, or this will do, or there's something wrong, but I don't have time to change type, your day is going to be completely off. You
Hmm.
want to look in that mirror and say, I love it.
Yes.
Just like in when you're doing any type of work, anything that you get yourself into, listen to what you're saying and what you're thinking and what is going on with your body. And if you can say that I love it, or I know this is what I need, and I know I need to speak to that person or talk to that person to help me get to that place, then jump in or have a conversation. And if the conversation doesn't go the way you want it to, don't sign up. Don't go
Right.
with the person. Always, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and these mistakes are what helped me grow and get better, but I never stopped. I never I'm gonna say I don't ever say never, knock on wood, never say never. I'm never gonna say I never shut down because I do, and I have. And when you shut down, those are the moments that you have to sit quietly and listen to what's going on.
Hmm.
What happened? Why did that happen? Don't beat yourself up too long. Just get back on the horse and start riding again because you will fall off. You will get back on. You will fall off. You will get back on. But there are people out there that can help you stay focused and accountable. And accountability for me, I love accountability. When I'm held
Me too.
accountable, I'm on track. If I'm not held accountable, especially if you're at home sitting behind the computer 24/7 and nobody to talk to, my
Right.
husband has no idea really what I do. I mean, he does, but he doesn't.
Right.
I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
talk to him about my business because he doesn't understand it where
Yeah.
I understand it. He's not in that mindset or that frame of mind that I can go to him and say, hey, can I run this by you? No, I have to look at people like you and my girlfriends and colleagues and things like that to get
Yeah.
my answers.
Yes.
Just showing
Yes.
up and listening to other people is really what helps too.
It is. And for those listeners that know me, I wrote a book called Vitamin C3, and the three C's are connect, contribute, and celebrate. And that's what I think all entrepreneurs need, that group of people that they can connect to at a deeper level, on a relatable level. We're all dealing with the same kind of problems, right? We have a way to contribute to each other. As we mentioned earlier, we're learning so much every day. So having a way to share that knowledge with other people and contribute to them and then celebrating together. There's a big difference between celebrating together with other entrepreneurs that you finally got your website done or you finally got that newsletter out or whatever it is, you reached 100 people on your newsletter list. If I say that to my husband as well or my girlfriends who have W-2 jobs, they're like, oh, that's great, Mary. But to say that to an entrepreneur who understands what it takes to reach those milestones, it's a
Right.
different level of celebration, right? So
Correct.
I love that. I wanted to go back to something you said, Dawn, where you started to talk about, that intuition when you get dressed in the morning and how what you're wearing and how you feel about that can set you up for success for your day. So this is what you get to do every day. So tell us a little bit about how women can kind of tweak their closets. I know that's a big subject as well, right? But
Sure.
what are some ways that we can work with our closets to help us feel more powerful and more successful and more tuned in with that higher self?
I love that question. And it's not an easy task. Okay. But let me share some simple tips.
Great.
First of all, if you can just take, small segments of a day on a Saturday or a Sunday when you're not doing much, and look at your closet and take things out that do not resonate with who you are today. And women have a hard time giving things up
Mhm.
because it's about the money or somebody gave it to them or whatever the thing is. And let me talk about someone gave it to you. Someone gave you something and you're going, well, I gotta wear it. No, this is the thing about women. They don't know how to say no. They don't
Yeah.
know how to say, hey, thank you so much for offering this to me, but it's really not my style and not my color. And I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm probably never gonna wear it. Do you
Hmm.
think that woman is going to be pissy at you for the rest of your life? No. She's going to say, thank you for sharing. I'll share it with somebody else that it might fit. You're just
Hmm.
being honest. You got to stand in your own truth. You got to step into your own self and say things that may not resonate with other people. Stop pretending you're making someone feel good because if you never wear it and they know that you never wear it, you're just
Right.
making them feel awful. They gave it to you when they could have gave it to somebody else or handed it to the
Right.
Goodwill or did something like that. So go in your closet, take things out that doesn't resonate with you. And you can either pass it on or give it to Goodwill or consign it. That's number one. Number two is color coordinate your closet. That's a real simple task. You can put all your blues, your greens, your yellows, or purples, your whites, all of it color coordinate. And
Nice.
then make sure they all fit you really, really well. Take the things that you love and pair them together. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. You
Yeah.
want more, I would be more than happy to work with you on this
Yes.
because it is a task. It doesn't happen overnight. But what I come up with, what I help my clients with is I want you to love everything that you walk out the door in. In other words, if you can't say, I love it, you're walking out the door and you're feeling confident in that outfit, then there's a disconnect. Everything in your closet should be in your color fan. Everything in your closet should fit you really well at the weight you are at right
Yes.
now.
Not 5 years
Everything,
ago, not 5 years in the future. Yes.
right. And everything should look great on you and feel fabulous on you. Now, for women that go up and down the scale all the time, well, we might have to segment your closet and put
Hmm.
those over here in the good things right now here. Don't wait until you lose 20 pounds and 10 pounds
Yeah.
because you don't know when that's going to happen. Now, I'll just share something that happened just recently with me. I was at a certain weight for the longest time. I lost probably maybe 8 good pounds in the last few months. Didn't have any reason. Well, my reasoning was I had surgery. I was carrying a fibroid in my stomach the size of a little baby.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, had no idea. I ended up losing a lot of weight. Now, yes, do my clothes fit differently? Yes, they do. I bought pants over a year ago and they are too big for me right now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm just going to put them aside because they're still new. And then I'm going to wear what fits me today. Do you see where
Nice.
I'm going with that?
Yes.
Because they're too big and they don't feel right on your body, you're going to be fiddling and looking at, I look sloppy today, or I don't feel right in these pants. I'm sharing that with you because it happens to even the best of us.
Hmm.
Even I know that. But take what you have in your closet. These are just some simple tips is color coordinate, take out the things that are not working for you that absolutely do not look good on you. If you still have tags on something, try them on, see if it fits. If it doesn't, get rid of it or move it. And I'm not your wardrobe Nazi,
Yeah.
but I can find ways to make it work for you. And I have. And I've had amazing success with women that go, I bought this, but I want to take it back because I don't have anything that matches in my closet. And I've ended up finding ways to make 5 or 6 outfits out of this one thing.
Nice. I love that. I love
And
that. And
she
again,
already
that's
had it. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's the value of working with a professional like yourself, right? Because if that's not, style has never really been I'm about let's find a style that's easy and easy for me to manage, right? Um, so I've got my own style that's worked for me through my my career. Now that I work at home and I'm on Zoom all the time, right? Usually it's style from the waist up, but um, I do find that um, asking for somebody or just getting second opinions about something, I grew up with 5 sisters, and so we were always constantly like, "Are you wearing that? Are you leaving the house in that?" Or, "Oh, I can't wait to borrow that from you." So we always were raiding each other's closets and, commenting on what we were wearing. So I got that little bit of a style advice. But as a more mature woman, it's sometimes hard to find somebody to ask those questions of, like, does this look good on my body? What does look good on my body? How do I match something with something else? And I think that, I'm trying to be a more conscious consumer and not just go out and buy a bunch of things, right? So really, I love the fact that you can say this one piece, I can make it work 5 different ways. So we don't have to buy as many of those things, as many tops or whatever, because we can mix and match and coordinate. And that's where having that outside advice, like from somebody with your experience and your credentials, you have lots of credentials, right? So all of those things can help us to show up more professionally, more confident. And that's what we as business women need. We need every little ounce of confidence that we can get to go out and do the things that we have to do to run our business. And so this is just one of the ways that we can support ourselves by hiring people like you. So I love the fact that you said, we can help you reorganize our closet and take advantage of the things that we already have. I'm sure you encourage people not to go out and just buy a whole new wardrobe, right?
Totally.
So starting with what we have.
And I've worked with minimalists all the way up to maximalists.
Yeah.
Like I was just saying this earlier today to someone that my office was the size of someone's closet. One person, that was just for her, not her husband or significant
Yeah.
other, anybody. It was just her. And I thought, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what do you do with all this?
Yeah.
And so it does make a big difference for that. And another point to what you were saying too about confidence, if you're not confident in who you are on the inside and how you show up on the outside, you are not going to have confidence in selling what you sell,
Hmm.
being who you are, stepping into leadership roles, doing what you want to do out there, serving your purpose or whatever your purpose is. And does that mean you have to be a Barbie doll? No, I don't teach anybody to be a Barbie doll. You are you. You are unique to who you are. And I come up with this other work that I do about finding out these 3 to 5 words that represent who you are. And once I find that out, I'm able to dress you in a way that represents that. So you
Nice.
feel confident both inside and out when you leave the house every day. And the confidence will come out in what you sell, in your work, in your play, in your dating, all aspects of your whole life. This isn't just a one and done thing. And I also teach you to utilize your wardrobe for all different parts of your personal life, because your personal life and your career can be one in the same. It's just,
Right.
how do you change that outfit up? Okay, I went for work. Now I'm going on a date tonight. I don't have time to go home and change. What can I do?
Right. Love that.
So,
Again, how to tweak things without having to go buy a whole new separate thing for each area of your life, right? And I know many women, as we worked with women that are maybe in transition from a corporate job to entrepreneurship, right? I know my wardrobe definitely changed from when I was working at a law firm and had to wear, suits and skirts and a little bit more dressed up. We're in Colorado, so it's, not New York professional, but Colorado professional. Um,
Right.
and
I'm
um,
finding that
yeah,
out.
and now now I'm a solopreneur and I get to wear what I want. I don't necessarily have to dress in a suit all the time, right? So depending on the occasion. But I used to find when I had my corporate wardrobe, I had a harder time on the weekends because I didn't have as many casual kind of things, right? So now I have more of the casual all the time, and then have some dress up things if I need to be more professional or go to a bigger event or something like that. But those, how do you help women that are kind of transitioning from one and figuring out who they are in this new role, where they may have to look differently? They might have had to look a certain way in the industry that they were leaving.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there. Because
Yeah.
I grew up to dress for success. So I grew up knowing that you had to dress for interviews
Hmm.
and dress for the part that you wanted and you got the part. The one thing is when you do go from a corporate career to an entrepreneur career, you don't want to conform to what everybody else is doing. Because when you
Right.
conform, you look like everybody else. You don't stand out like who you are, unique.
Hmm.
And you want to be unique to yourself. And I bring that uniqueness out of you. It's okay, let's find out where you've been. What are you doing? Where are you going? How are we going to get you to where you want to be? And in order to do that, we have to change. Sometimes the look helps you step into that next role because it
Yeah.
takes a while for us to get rid of this corporate persona that we've had. Like
Yes.
I didn't know how to dress down for while, quite a while, until I
Yeah.
figured out, okay. And it wasn't jeans because jeans didn't come out at that time when I was doing this.
Yeah.
And so even wearing jeans on a daily basis, I'm not cutting jeans at all because there's so many people that do. Again, who is your target audience? Who do you want to be in front of? And how do you want to be perceived by this audience? And what is it that is in your message that you're trying to get across? So when you go from, oh, I was a lawyer, let's take that one for instance, and now I'm an entrepreneur. You still have leadership roles. You still
Hmm.
have that upper echelon title that you deserve. But how do you step back and not be so stuffy or uh, corporate culture looking? How
Yeah.
do I look myself? Bring out my uniqueness. What do I wear that resonates with who I am today? And just going to mention a couple of things like a leather jacket or brooches. You know, you
Hmm.
could have a slew of grandma's brooches that you inherited and love them, but don't know what to do with them. Do you know what you can do with them? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You can make those into belt loops or belt buckles or pins or earrings or hair pieces, necklaces. You can make them out of
Yes.
anything. It's being creative with those things and being able to wear them. It could be I don't like to wear my hair down, or I want to wear my hair down because it's been up for so long. And I've
Yeah.
done this before was what do you do with your hair? If your hair is up 95% of the time, it might you might need a new hairstyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because why do you have it up? Because it's in my face. I don't like it hanging in my face. Well, then let's think of a new hairstyle.
Yes.
I don't want to go short because my husband may not like me in short hair. Let's think about what I just said, and I
Yeah.
hear the thought. This is your body. This is your life. This is your time. They will get used to it. You've got
Yeah.
to wear it. You've got to love it. You've got to feel good in it. And it's
Yes.
about you, not somebody else. You have to be selfish and be about you. And when
Nice.
I say selfish, I say that in a good way.
Yes. It goes back to what something you said earlier. We have to learn to say no. We
Yes,
and own what brings us joy, so that we can have that joy in our lives, right? So
totally.
yes, I've loved our conversation, Don. I could just keep talking to you forever, but we got to wrap it up. So how can people set up an appointment to talk to you if they need some help with their look or their closet or just building that confidence in how they look and how they show up, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Hmm. First of all, you can go to my website and check out my website. That's going to be redone here in the next month here. But Dawn, Dawn at dawnstebbing.com. It's Stebbing.com. Or you can reach out to me, dawnstebbing.com, or dawn at dawnstebbing.com is my email. You can reach me by email. Reach out to me. I offer a complimentary conversation with you. There's no pressure. I just have this conversation with you to find out what is it that you're needing. If I'm not a good fit, I know somebody that would be a good fit. It's not about me. It's really about helping you find what you need. And if we're a good fit, then we'll talk about what we can do to work together. And I'm
Fantastic.
on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, so you can check out and they're all under my name. Easy
Okay.
branding.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And we will have all of those in the show notes everywhere you're listening to your podcast, to the podcast. We'll put all of Dawn's information in there as well, so you can check the show notes for whatever platform you're listening on. But again, thank you so much, Dawn, for showing up today, sharing your expertise with us, and sharing your story about how you took some leaps to success. And I really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.